טוב. התחלתי, אוקיי. אז ערב טוב לכולם, איזה יופי שאתם כאן, במקום לשבת ולשמוע חדשות או כל דבר אחר. אנחנו נראה היום קצת או הרבה על פרינטיפיי, נראה על הקשר בין פרינטיפיי לאטסי, כל מיני טיפים, כמה טיפים טובים שראיתי כבר קודם עם החבר'ה
ואם רואים שאתה מתחבר פה, אני אפתור לך את הבעיה.
אז בואו נקבל. הנה, אוקיי, אופרה הלוי, נא לשמור על מיוט. אוקיי, אז ככה, אז בוובינר הזה אנחנו נראה עוד רגע כמה דברים על פרינטיפיי, אני רק רוצה למי שלא מעודכן, לא מעודכנת, רק שתדעו שהם מגיעים לארץ גם, אנחנו נפגוש אותם ב-13 בכנס שלנו, הם יגיעו, יש להם גם הרצאה על המסחר עצמו, על מה שנקרא גלוקליזציה, איך בעצם לקרב את הפריטים שלנו ללקוח ולתת, שיהיה לנו איזה יתרון במשלוחים. מעבר לזה הם יגיעו עם דוכן, ובדוכן עצמו שלהם שם נוכל להרגיש את המוצרים. זאת אומרת, אחד החששות שבטח עולות שאלות איך אפשר לעבוד עם POD בלי להרגשת לפני כן בכרית או בחולצה או בקנבס, אז הם מביאים, הם באים עם מזוודות עמוסות בציוד כדי שנוכל להרגיש איך הוא, ואז כנראה שזה יהיה לנו יותר קל לקחת החלטות אם לעבוד איתם או לא. אוקיי, אז בעצם מילה אחת על POD למי שלא מכיר, למרות שאני מניח שרובכם מכירים. POD זה בעצם ראשי תיבות של Print on Demand, וזה בעצם הדפסה לפי הזמנה. אני אגיד במילה אחת ככה לתהליך, פרינטיפיי לדוגמה, הם בעצם מחסן או רשת מחסנים עם מדפסות ועם מוצרים. זאת אומרת, יש להם חולצה ויש להם מגבת ויש להם מזרנים וכו' וכו' וכו'. והם יכולים להדפיס כל דבר שתרצו, הם ייתנו לכם את הכלי לעיצוב, תוכלו לשים את העיצובים שלכם כהדמיה על החולצות שלהם ועל שאר הפריטים שלהם, ובלחיצת כפתור זה יעבור לאטסי. אתם תדעו מראש מה עלות הפריט ומה עלות המשלוח לכל פריט ופריט. זה מסונכן, יכול להיות מסונכן אונליין ממש, בעצם שיש מחירה. תוכלו באופן, תוכלו לא לעשות כמעט שום דבר, זה יעבוד באופן אוטומטי, או שתוכלו לעשות את זה באופן ידני. אוקיי? אז אני עובר רגע לאנגלית, ואני אזמין את רטיסלב. So, רטיסלב, hello, how are you? Are you with us?
I'm with you. I'm doing well. How are you guys? Hi, everybody.
Hi, let me put you on that I will see you on the screen, 1 minute. Let me find you. We have a lot of participants today, so it's a bit different. One minute.
Oh,
Okay.
Someone has...
shared his screen. 1 minute. So Ratislav is a product manager at Printifiy, and he will guide us through this webinar. Where are you? I can't see you, actually.
What is everybody seeing right now? You can see me? Yeah.
I'm looking for you. Maybe you're...
Yeah. Well, I'm...
Okay. Now we can all see you. Hello, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. How's everybody?
We're fine.
Great.
And I ask them all to be on mute. They will ask question on the chat, and sometimes they will ask, you can hear them, or I'll ask once in a while. Let me just 1 minute, I'll speak in Hebrew. אני הולך, בעצם הוא ידבר באנגלית, ואני כל כמה דקות אעשה איזה תרגום קצר למה שהוא אמר, למה שלא הצלחנו להבין, ואם אני לא מצליח להבין נכון, אז מוזמנים לתקן גם אותי. I just told them that I'm going to translate you once in a while. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So nice to see you once again at the same day.
Likewise. So should we just launch in?
Yeah, please.
Okay, perfect. So hey everybody, my name is Rostislav. I'm a product manager at Printifiy. And what I do is I basically work with the rest of our team to understand customer needs, to figure out how to continue to develop Printifiy moving forward, to better meet merchant needs, evolve stores to help everybody sell better. So that's kind of roughly a little bit about what I'm doing. And then basically today what I'm going to do is I'll quickly explain briefly what is POD, print on demand. I'll walk you guys through what Printifiy offers. I think some of you probably are already familiar. If I'm talking too fast, feel free to message in the chat to let me know and I can slow down. And yeah, so I'll walk you guys through a little bit about what print on demand is, how Printifiy works, where it fits into the ecosystem. Then I'll do a brief demonstration to show you basically how easy it is to create an account, to create your first product, to connect it to your Etsy store, and to publish. I'll walk you guys through our catalog. I'll answer questions that you guys have about our services, about things that we sell, and then I'll also share some of the recent things that we did to improve our Etsy integration and show you guys some tips and tricks about getting Etsy to work. And then I guess at the very end, I have one specific tool that I want to share with you guys that we recently did that I'm quite proud of, that will help basically sell personalized orders for Etsy, which I know is a very popular thing currently in the market. So that's kind of that, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so and another thing that we just, I will translate in a minute, הוא הולך להדריך אותנו קצת על פרינטיפיי, על החיבור עצמו, איך להעלות מוצר לאצי, ויש להם עוד איזה כלי חדש שהוא רוצה להראות לנו איך הכלי הזה עובד, וקדימה בוא נראה. Okay, so let's start.
Let's do it? Okay, cool. So I'm gonna share my screen and then you guys tell me if you can see everything. Yeah. Perfect. So, can you guys see my screen? Yeah?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, great. So yeah, so Printifiy is a print-on-demand platform. Print-on-demand is currently, it's a $20 billion market. As you guys probably know, it includes everything from printed t-shirts, home products, posters, mugs, bags, cell phone cases, laptop sleeves. Basically, anything you can print on, it can be printed on demand. And so what does that actually mean? Basically, what it does is it allows merchants to start selling without having to worry about having an inventory, without worrying about having a fulfillment location, and really without almost any upfront investment. So the items that are made through the kind of use of new technology, through new mock-up generators, you can visualize what the products will look like, and then only when a customer actually purchases a product does that product get made for the first time, right? So where does Printifiy sit? Let's just minimize this. So Printifiy is a business-to-business platform, and there's kind of two sides of it. So on the one hand, we have the demand side, and this includes all the different e-commerce shops, places like Etsy, most notably Shopify, Magento. These are all the places where merchants can choose to sell to their customers, right? So you have the demand side, and that's constantly growing as more and more merchants are opening the store. And then on the other side of the equation is the supply side. And so Printifiy partners with basically the world's leading print-on-demand manufacturers. These are companies that have been in the business for over 20 years. They've got all of the experience to print on all the different products. We don't actually print anything ourselves. And so what we do is by partnering with all of these leading companies, we're able to offer a wide geographic area fulfillment. So as you can see, we currently fulfill from over 90 plus locations around the world. This includes mostly the US. We have fulfillment locations in the UK, currently China, and there's many more that are actually on the plans for this book as we're expanding our geographies. And so by partnering with these companies, we're able to offer unique products that we would never be able to offer if we were just doing it by ourselves. So some of these companies specialize only in cell phone cases. Some of them specialize only in home goods. And what we allow merchants to do is really to work with the best of the best in that particular industry, in that particular niche. And we facilitate the transaction. And then so the next slide, I'll just quickly show you guys basically what it works. So
just 1 minute, Rostislav, I will translate it.
Sure.
This, okay. אז בעצם פרינטיפיי הם האינטגרטור, הם עובדים עם רוב, כמו שאתם רואים מצד שמאל, עם רוב האתרים המובילים בעולם של האי-קומרס, זאת אומרת, יש כאן את אצי, בשותפיפיי, מג'נטו וכל החבר'ה. הם עובדים עם המון ספקים מכל העולם, אם זה מסין, ואם זה מאנגליה, ואם זה מאירופה, וכמובן מארצות הברית. הם בעצמם לא מדפיסים כלום, הם בעצם מי שמפעיל את כל המנוע מאחורי זה, ועכשיו הוא רוצה להראות לנו את התהליך עצמו. Yeah, we are with you.
Cool. So, basically, here's a small, very general illustration about how it works. So, although the previous slide maybe made it seem like there's a lot of complicated things going on, perspective, and also from a merchant's perspective, it's actually very simple. So over here on the left, you see, let's call this guy John. And John, on his cell phone, goes to Etsy. He finds a shirt that he likes from the store called Lovers Are Lunatics. And basically at that point, he purchases that item, which happens to be a shirt that's made on Printifiy. So as soon as John makes his purchase, Printifiy pulls all of the order information from Etsy, knowing exactly where the item needs to get delivered, who the item is going to, what is the item, what color, what size, what image. As soon as we capture the payment from the merchant, that item is then purchased. We then send all of the information over to the companies that are going to then print and ship that item. So we do all of the work for you, and merchants actually don't need to do anything but concentrate on selling. So we send the proper images in their resolution, they're already sized. Our partners know exactly how to print it, where to print it, how to package it. And basically, once that process is done, it gets packaged and sent straight to John. And so this is kind of, here you have a t-shirt, but this could be any number of items that are only made as soon as a purchase actually happens, and it's a very seamless process. So that's a kind of general overview from a end customer's perspective and from a merchant perspective.
Okay, so just one question that we already know the answer, but about this, you can still share the screen. I mean, we want to see your screen.
Okay.
I can choose the right supplier, right? I mean, if there is a few suppliers that make the t-shirts, I can choose which one to work with, right?
Absolutely. Actually,
Okay.
why don't I launch into? I can show you guys.
So you don't need to show me just now, I just translate it. בעצם ראינו כאן תהליך עבודה, שבעצם לקוח הזמין חולצה, אחרי שהוא הזמין את החולצה אצלי בחנות באצי, ההזמנה עברה לפרינטיפיי, פרינטיפיי שלחו הודעה לספק שבא לחנות בחר לעבוד איתו, הספק, היצרן ייצר את החולצה, שלח את החולצה אליי הלקוח, וקיבלתי אותה. בעצם זה התהליך כולו. השאלה ששאלתי זה שאם יש כמה יצרני חולצות, האם אני יכול לבחור עם איזה יצרן לעבוד, והתשובה היא כמובן שכן, והוא רצה להראות לנו את זה. So let's continue, please.
Okay.
One minute, sorry. יש כאן עוד כמה שאלות שקופצות, אני שומר אותן. אנחנו נענה אחר כך. תוך כדי ההרצאה, כבר הייתי חלק מהשאלות שהוא הולך להראות גם כך. Yeah, please.
Cool. So, why don't I...
1 minute, I'll find the noisy one. One minute, I'll find... You can share your screen. I'll find this, the one that makes noise.
Cool.
Yeah.
Great. Cool. So I guess briefly, I'll walk you guys through Printifiy in general. I'll show you guys our catalog, some of the products that we offer. I'll touch on this fact about choosing suppliers. So Printifiy itself is basically free. So there's no cost to kind of start selling. The only cost is the actual wholesale cost of the product, right? So over here, I'll show you guys the catalog. So when you go to Printifiy, you'll see we have different products ranging from you can go to men's clothing, we have t-shirts, hoodies, shoes, sportswear, right? Women's clothing, kids' clothing. We have over 200 products, different kinds of products at the moment, each fulfilled by, as you can see over here, every single item lists which print providers it works with. So this one, there's 3 different print partners that can do it. This one has, in order to simplify, because choosing from 200 products is sometimes a lot, we recently introduced this bestseller category. So because we have a lot of information from all of our merchants about what they're selling, what sells really well, we're able to kind of make these kinds of recommendations knowing for sure that these are the products that do sell very well. So you can see over here, we've got the Bella Canvas 3001. We have a women's racerback tee, a hoodie, mug, pillow, poster. So all throughout different categories, different products that we know sell well. And so I'll choose the Bella Canvas 3001 as an example. So when you open up a product, the first thing you'll see is kind of general information about the product itself so that you can see. You'll see the brand, a little bit information about how it fits, what it's made out of. And then if you scroll down, you'll actually see the different print providers. So as I mentioned, we have print partners that are located all over the world. Some of them specialize in very different things, right? Which is why each print partner is, some of them have their own technology. Some of them, although they offer the exact same shirt, they don't offer the exact same colors, but they do other things. So some have more colors, some have more sizes. Some, as you can see over here, have different print areas. So really, what we do is we bring all of these print partners together to allow merchants to make the most educated choice for what they want to sell on their business, right? And so you can kind of do your research about each one of these print partners. You can see their average production time, how long it typically says, and price, right? The prices that you're seeing here at the moment are prices without our subscription plan. So I mentioned that Printifiy is entirely free, and the only price you pay is the wholesale price of the item that you're selling. So if you're selling this t-shirt for $25, you would pay $12.76 plus shipping, and everything that's left over would be your profit margin, minus Etsy fees, minus credit card transactions. With the Printifiy Premium subscription, which is the only thing that you can actually sign up and pay for on our platform, you get a 20% discount on all of our products. And so this number actually goes down. And that makes sense if you're a volume seller and you're selling a lot. So these are kind of our different print providers. And for each one of them, you can open it up and you can get more information about them. You can see their shipping rates for how much this print provider, how much he'll ship items for. The first item, additional item, which technology they use. So we really try to provide all the tools so for merchants to make the kind of the research and make the best decision for their business.
Okay, so let me, just 1 minute. ראינו כאן שהוא בחר בעצם חולצה, ראינו שיש קטלוג די נדיב, מעל 200 פריטים מוצרים שונים. כשבחרנו חולצה, אז גם ראינו שיש כאן המון ספקים לחולצה. זאת אומרת, אפשר לבחור איזה ספק הדפסה בעצם, וגם איפה יש חלק מהספקים שיודעים להדפיס גם על החלק האחורי של החולצה, לדוגמה. מעבר לזה ראינו שיש כאן מחירים על כל חולצה, זה המחיר תעלה לכם החולצה, ותבחרו אותם באיזה מחיר למכור אותה לצרכן הסופי, מעל זה. דבר נוסף שאפשר זה להצטרף לאיזה תוכנית פרימיום בתשלום, שבתוכנית עצמה מקבלים הנחה משמעותית. הוא אומר ששווה להצטרף לתוכנית בהנחה שאתה מוכר כבר גדול, זה $20 לחודש. It's $20 per month, the premium? 29 דולר לחודש. שלחתי לכם, עוד מעט תראו את זה, גם במייל ששלחתי לכם להירשם עכשיו, תזכורת, יש שם לינק שותפים שלי שהם עשו לי, שאפשר לקבל 60 יום ניסיון לפרימיום. אוקיי, זה נמצא שם, ואחר כך הוא גם ייתן לנו איזה קופון כנראה בנושא. אוקיי, we're with you.
Cool. So at this point, I wanted to actually show you guys how easy it is to sign up, create your first product, and connect your Etsy shop. I'll also keep an eye on the chat. People might be asking, can they rate their suppliers? So, can we rate their suppliers according to the quality of the product? we have considered it, and we are looking at ways to do this. As you guys can imagine, there's no objective thing. So the difference, I'll briefly walk you guys through it. Different merchants have different goals with their store. There are some merchants that are, for instance, interested in building a brand, right? They want their brands, they want very high quality. They know that their customers are willing to pay more. They're looking at this as a business they're building in the long run, right? They would make a very different choice, and they need very different things than, for instance, somebody who's doing, you know what, I'm not looking to build a brand. I understand that if I sell just thousands of items, yes, there's going to be returns, but in the long run, I'm trying to catch onto a quick trend, maybe some kind of a new trending hashtag from Twitter that they try to capitalize on. They know that in 2 weeks, this is going to disappear, and they only open up their store for, those 2 weeks. They're not interested in the same things. So to rate suppliers according
I'll translate it in 2 words, to the Israelis here. הייתה כאן שאלה, האם אפשר לדרג את הספקים לפי האיכות? עכשיו, נתחיל מזה שאני מניח שהתשובה שלו הייתה אמורה להיות כולם איכותיים. ובכל זאת, משהו הסביר וזה נכון, לכל אחד יש רצונות שונים. אני מעוניין לקנות חולצות זולות מאוד כדי להרוויח כמה שיותר, ומישהו אחר יכול לרצות לקנות תמונות עם צפיפות גבוהה יותר כותנה או דברים אחרים, כדי שהמותג יהיה יותר איכותי. הוא נתן כאן דוגמה שלפעמים חלק מהאנשים יקבלו את... הוא דאג איבדתי את זה כי קראתי את זה צ'אט, סליחה. אבל הרעיון זה שכל אחד והעדפותיו שלו, לפעמים חלק מהאנשים פותחים חנות ל2-3, כי יש איזה השטג חדש באינסטגרם, נגיד שעכשיו כולם רוצים לעשות, ולהוציא איזה חולצה חדשה. אוקיי, אז באופן עקרוני אין דירוג כרגע. Yeah, we are with you.
Cool. I'll add one more thing about this. So the easiest way to understand is Printifiy has 24/7 customer support. So as soon as you sign up for your store, the best thing to do is to reach out to our customer support and to talk to an agent and to say, hey, this is the kind of store that I want to run. This is what I'm looking for. Do you have some recommendations for which of these I can use to make the best decision? Right? Because even if I leave a review, somebody who's looking for the totally wrong thing buys something, he's actually going to confuse somebody who's looking for exactly that. That's why we offer 24/7 merchant support. So I encourage anybody who's wondering about what I should do, which products I should choose, to just open up that chat icon, click, say, hey, I'm trying to build a brand. Which are the print providers that you recommend I look at? Or, hey, I'm trying to just do a quick seasonal store. I want, is this safe to use? And then we'll always give you the best recommendation given what your goals are. So I highly encourage everybody. We're very open. We're available 24/7. So reach out. Do you need to translate that too?
Ken, yes, Ken. You know Ken, you've been in Israel. אז בעצם מה שהוא אמר זה שיש, הכי טוב, אחרי שנרשמתם, צרו קשר עם שירות הלקוחות שלהם, עובדים 24/7, תסבירו להם מה התוכנית שלכם, והם ימליצו לכם מי הספק הרלוונטי ביותר בשבילכם. Yes, let's continue.
Cool. So at this point, yeah. So I'll show you guys how easy it is to create a new account, connected to the Etsy store, publish your first product. So basically, you go to sign up. And then you end up with our onboarding, right? So a little bit about the onboarding. So Printifiy has a lot of different users, and we're constantly working on our content and our emails in order to provide the most actionable advice that different kinds of merchants need. And so going through the onboarding and kind of explaining a little bit about what your experience is allows us to know, you know what, this person already knows what he's doing. He's already been selling more than $50,000. He definitely doesn't need advice on how to do this. This is the kind of content that he needs. So through the onboarding at the very beginning, we're able to gauge a little bit about what kind of content people need, maybe what kind of help they would be looking for, and allows us to do a more catered, personalized experience, right? So you create an account, you create a new store name. I'm gonna call this my new Etsy store. I save, add your personal details. So here you name your business. This is what's going to, as you see, it's what appears on the invoices. So you fill out your basic information. Address. Right.
אוקיי, אז ראינו שיש בעצם איזו הרשמה פשוטה, פרטים אישיים, בהתחלה היינו צריכים למלא כאן את מה היקף המחירות שלנו, וככה הם ידעו גם להכווין אותנו, ויבינו גם עם עצמם מי הספקים הנכונים בשבילנו, ואם אנחנו צריכים בכלל תמיכה או לא. פשוט הייתה כאן הרשמה בסיסית, שם, כתובת וכאלה, וממשיכים הלאה. אוקיי, so let's continue.
Cool. So basically after that, over here you see design your first product, and this takes you right back to the catalog, right? So I'm going to do exactly what I recommend many of you do is for the first product, if you're unsure, choose Bella Canvas. It is our bestseller. Word of advice, if you are looking for quality, go for DJ. This is what a lot of our sellers use for building a brand specifically. Once you choose, actually, maybe I did that too quickly. So you open up the product, you choose specifically the print provider you want, and you choose start designing. This takes you straight to our mockup generator. In our mockup generator, basically you have the option here to add your designs. This company has two print areas. They can print on the front and the back. We're only going to do on the front, but you add your design. At the moment, I have nothing. I'm going to upload. I'm also an illustrator, so this is one of my drawings.
Okay. So just 1 minute. אני מזכיר לכם שהקטע הזה אני נותן לו לרוץ מהר על איך להעלות את המוצר, כי יש לנו הקלטה של זה, אחר כך תוכלו לעבור על זה צעד אחר צעד בעצמכם. I just said that we're recording this thing, so you can run with it and then they will have it, I mean, to see all the steps later on the video.
Okay, cool. That's good. Yeah, so I have a little bit slow internet here right now. So
yeah, and if there is any size of limited size limitation?
Yeah, so about the file limitations, currently we can't accept files over 50 megabytes. And at the moment, the only formats that we accept are PNG and JPEG. And then something else to kind of notice is that for each garment, you'll see that they have this print area right here. And over here, this is going to be different for every single product. So this is the recommended size for this particular t-shirt for this particular area. So your file really, it should be of a high enough resolution. If you add a low resolution image, you'll get a warning. But basically 4,500 pixels by 5,700 is the specific area of this shirt. So it does not need to be larger than this, right? So I've uploaded my design.
So 1 minute, I'll just translate this. לכל ספק ולכל מוצר יהיה גדלים שונים. למטה מצד ימין ראינו את גודל, את הפיקסלים, וכל ספק ייתן לנו את המידות הנכונות, שאנחנו צריכים לעמוד בהם, לא לחרוג מהם, כי אז אנחנו חורגים, זה לא יוכל להיות מודפס על השטח הזה. Yes, please.
Cool. So here is my super fantastic illustration. So one thing, once you do over here is where you edit your variants. So in the beginning, everything is checked, right? Which means you're all sizes and all possible colors. Etsy, I don't remember offhand what are the limitations for how many variants Etsy allows you to sell. But typically it's usually no more than 100, right? So currently, I would have to uncheck some of these options to go with less than 100. And a variant, as you guys know, is basically, so for each size, it's all of the colors that I'm selling. So what I will do is I'll uncheck basically all of these, and then I'll go through and I'll pick which colors I want to sell, right? So let's say it's black, peach, heather tan, solid black, yellow, right? So it's all of those, and then maybe I don't want to sell 3XL. So now at this point, once I've unchecked that, I'm only choosing 30 variants out of 100. For the purpose of this demonstration, let's say that that's good. And you'll actually see this is where the prices are different per variant. Obviously, the smaller the shirt, the less it costs. When you get into the larger sizes, they have a larger wholesale costs. But this you can also edit in the next screen. So once I choose save, then I can go through and I can view very quickly the preview of what the item looks like. I'm choosing to sell 5 colors, and this is basically what my design would look like. Right? So like I mentioned, with this, you very easily and very quickly get a quick approximation of like, this is what the product will look like. In real life, obviously, it would look slightly differently. That's why we encourage people to take product photos once they have them. But you don't need to actually print this shirt in order to start selling it. We generate all of these for you right away. Do you need to?
Yeah, so קודם כל הוא אומר שהצבעים אמורים להיות דומים, אבל שוב, יש עניין של מסך וכאלה, לא בטוח שהם יהיו ב100% זהים. There was one question about the DPI. What is the DPI?
Yeah, so the DPI is your image resolution. So depending on which software you use, but it's basically pixels per inch. So I used Photoshop for mine. It really depends on kind of what you use, but when you're choosing to save your image, there's going to be image export options. And so you always need to choose basically 3 to 600 DPI. 72 is typically what it's for web, but and you can see actually for this image, if I actually start scaling it, the DPI goes down because I've made my image a lot bigger. And so now I've only got average resolution on my image, right? The smaller it is, my DPI changes. And so there's always going to be a limit to how basically large you can zoom in on the image and still maintain quality. I hope that's kind of clear.
Yes. אז הוא אומר שצריך כאן בדרך כלל זה 300 DPI, הוא רק כאן שאתה מגדיל את מן הסתם, הוא עושה תקריב, אז זה פוגע ברזולוציה. Okay, thanks.
Cool. So yeah, so basically you edit your variants, you see the costs over there. This is where you change your image. Again, you can play with these. You can rotate your image. You can scale it. This allows you to align it to the center. So if I move it over here and then I click this, it will move it back to the center. So we kind of add, it's obviously not Photoshop, but very simple things you can do. And actually pretty soon we're going to release a new version of this that's going to include a lot new features and a lot more control. So stay tuned. Cool. So I'll proceed next to the next step. So now once you go to the next step, it's once again going to show you what you're going to see and how you can select your main image for your store. Basically, once again, looking through, you can open it up. You can see kind of like a zoomed in version of this at this point, if you wait a second. This is also where you can view this separately to save it if you want to make edits to it on your computer. You want to add some more information. You can open these up and you can save those images to your computer to edit those mockups later, right? So continue. Here you get to the description section, right? So this is where you change your product's title. You change your product description. You can add a size table to the description, which shows kind of what to expect in inches. You can change it to maybe metric system. depending on where you're selling and what your customer understands.
So let me translate. כאן אנחנו בעצם רואים את הפריט, זאת אומרת, title ו-description, אנחנו יכולים לקבל כאן כבר טבלת מידות, זה בעצם יועתק בקרוב לאצי. בעצם בלחיצת כפתור, המידע שנשים כאן יעבור לתוך תיאור הפריט של המוצר באצי. Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay, cool. So I'm not going to make any changes here. So that part works expected. Okay, cool. And then, so now, as I said, here is where you can start changing your prices. So your base cost for each of these is currently $9 to $9.73. And the reason when you open it up, you can see actually some prices differ for the different kinds of garments. So these are likely tri-blend garments. They have a slightly higher base cost. Most people just choose to swallow that difference and choose something like, I'll make all of my products 20, right? And then over here, you see your profit margin and roughly how much of a profit you're getting. This doesn't include shipping, so
okay.
You have to...
So let me translate. בעצם מה שאנחנו רואים זה את המחיר שכמה עולה כל חולצה מצד שמאל, בקוסט. אנחנו רושמים בשדה הזה בדיוק איפה שרואים את ה-20, מה המחיר שאנחנו מעוניינים למכור באצי, והוא כבר מראה לי מה הרווחיות גם. זה לא כולל את המשלוח. אם אנחנו מתכננים לעשות משלוח חינם, אז אולי נרצה להעלות את מחיר הפריט. אוקיי. Yes, thank you.
So we're going to try to also simulate what buying looks like, and so that we don't break the bank, I'm going to make it only 50 cents. I don't encourage you guys to sell for 50 cents.
בעצם הוא שם כאן $0.50 כדי להראות כדוגמה. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, cool. So at this point, you can save the product or you can immediately go to connect the store. I'm going to jump straight to connecting the store. And what it's going to do is it's basically going to ask you, do you want to open up a Shopify, WooCommerce, or Etsy store? If you don't have an Etsy account, it'll send you to Etsy to sign up. I already do. So I'm going to choose connect, right? You get a little warning that Etsy is a trademark. Not a warning, more like just a note thing. And basically, whatever account you're currently signed into in your browser, it's going to be that account. And so you're going to see a screen that says this application would like to connect to your account. You're signed in as this, a little bit about Printifiy, the permissions that we need in order to kind of get access to the account, to publish products, to manage your orders. So as soon as you allow access, it will take you back to the store. And then at this point, your store is now connected, but this product is still not published.
Okay, right? So 1 minute. So משהו, רק רגע, בסך הכל הוא חיבר את החנות. לחצנו על האייקון של אצי במסך הקודם, וברגע שלחצנו זה הגיע לאצי, allow access, אפשר גישה, חיברנו את, כרגע אצי ופרינטיפיי מחוברים, ועוד רגע שהוא ילחץ על publish, בעצם הפריט יעבור לתוך אצי. Yeah, please.
Cool. So one quick tip and trick.
Okay, הוא אומר שהוא הולך לתת לנו... 1 minute, we couldn't hear you. הוא אומר שאני הולך לתת לכם איזה טיפ, ואז הוא נקטע. Okay, what's the tip, please?
So the tip is, as you guys know, Etsy has listing costs. And so one thing that our merchants discovered in order to kind of avoid the listing cost and to kind of review your listing to add any extra information that you need is to first publish your product with this button, hide in store, right? And so what this will do is that when I then save changes and publish and I have hide in store checked, it's going to publish this to my drafts folder in Etsy. So it's not going to go live to the internet right away. It'll actually go to my draft. And so you'll see over here, it's going to take maybe approximately 1 minute, but then it'll appear actually in my Etsy store.
Okay, so let me translate it. בעצם הוא הראה לנו כאן שלמטה, אם הוא מסמן בפאבליש, יש לו שם, can you show us the button or it's already gone?
Sorry, I just chose to publish it.
Okay, never mind. היה שם כפתור למטה, להעלות את זה hidden, בעצם נסתר. בעצם במילים אחרות, הוא העלה את הפריט לדרפט, ולכן זה כרגע לא יעלה כסף, נוכל לצפות בפריט בתוך ספריית הדרפט, ואחר כך, אם הוא מוצא חן בינינו, כשזה נראה באטסי, לעשות לו פאבליש. הנה, hide in the store, בעצם מחבא בחנות. Yeah, thank you. Okay.
Cool. So at this point, if I go to my listings, you'll see the new listing that should already be created. Let's see. Once this website reloads. Not yet. Not yet. Or is it? It's in my draft. So as I mentioned, it'll go straight to your drafts folder first, right? So you have your active products. That's a product that I made for another thing. And then over here, you'll be able to edit. You'll be able to change and review the that it does only allow you to do 10 images per product, right? Some of our products, if you're selling all the colors and sizes, if you're selling on the front and the back, you'll very quickly realize that you have a lot more than just 10 images to show. So we're still figuring out with kind of Etsy and what their limitations are, how we can help merchants do it. But a lot of merchants are using their own mockups. They're downloading the images, they're making their own compositions, and then they're going here and then they're adding those photos themselves, right? They're adjusting them, changing them, cropping, maybe adding titles underneath, you name it, right? So then you'll be able to go through, you'll be able to see all of the listings. We pre-fill pretty much all of the information that's necessary for the shirt. This is something that we still need to work on, that the size table does not actually sync correctly, which is why a lot of merchants actually do the size table as an image and then they upload it to their Etsy listing, right? But you'll see everything kind of went through, the title, the description, the printing partner, the production partner. I know this is a new thing on Etsy. We don't automatically check this yet, so this is something that you do need to worry about yourself, about listing. But basically, you'll get to see that everything is published with 999 inventory. The pricing all comes through. We publish all the SKU numbers, all the colors, all the sizes. All of this is set up for you automatically, right? And then another thing to just pay attention to is actually every time you make a new product on Printifiy, it will create a brand new shipping profile on Etsy, right? This is a shipping profile that is basically standard for the print provider, $4 domestic, 1 to 7 business days production time. And it'll do it actually for every single product. And so here's one of the tips and tricks that I recently mentioned. So now, if you go back to Printifiy, you go to your My Store, you'll see this is the product over here. Let's delete this for a second. One of the easy things to do is to duplicate a product if that's kind of, if you're going to be doing basically the same thing. So what a lot of our merchants do is they just duplicate, then they go in, they edit, they basically change the design, right? They do a brand new description. So t-shirt 2, they change the description, but they already know it's the same garment from the same provider for the same prices. They hit continue. And when they publish, here's the new thing that I mentioned. It's one of the tips and tricks. So now, recently, in order to avoid this problem, actually what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to choose from your existing shipping profiles on Etsy so that you actually don't create a new one right away, right? So here I'm choosing this unisex jersey short sleeve. So a new shipping profile will not be created, and I'm going to save changes and publish, and it'll publish already with that same shipping profile. So questions at this point. Let me see.
Okay. So if someone wants to ask question out loud, this is the right time. I mean, I can say...
שומעים אותי?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I would like to ask if I have a free shipping and I'm doing a manual order. So what I saw that it still makes the shipping your shipping price, not my shipping price. I don't have a retail shipping price, only a retail price, but not for the shipping one.
So what are you, sorry, can you repeat what you're trying to accomplish?
I'm asking if you have a retail shipping price, not only a retail price.
A retail shipping price.
Yeah.
So our
Like on the slip, on your slip, on the package, so it will say the shipping price I took from a customer, not what I paid you.
On our, it does not, I don't believe that it shows shipping costs on our slips at all. So the end customers,
Even if I
only,
ship to Europe or
so my colleagues are telling me the details. So the only time that you'll see shipping costs on the package is if it's shipping internationally for customs reasons.
Okay, but then it still shows the price I paid, not the price I took from a customer.
For international orders, it's going to be random.
Random? What do you mean random?
There we go. Okay. Sorry, my colleagues are explaining. So in order to have the customs fees as low as possible, so that they're not, and ideally not at all, so that they're not passed on to the merchants. So it's really just, it's usually pretty random, but for domestic orders, there is no shipping that's on the label. And so your customers won't know actually how much shipping costs.
Okay, and another question, what happens if I edit a listing and I check the personalization button there? Something would happen if someone writes there something?
No. So that's actually one of the things that I want to demonstrate. I'm just quickly setting up a few things on the back end to make sure that I'll see that. So the personalization, we don't pull from that automatically, but I will quickly do a demonstration about actually what is possible for that. Give me 1 second.
אוקיי, הוא רוצה רגע להראות לנו, הייתה כאן שאלה על הפרסונליזציה, מה יקרה, האם אפשר להפעיל פרסונליזציה, אז כנראה שהתשובה היא כן, ורטיסלב רוצה להראות לנו איך עושים את זה, הוא מנסה להכין משהו כנראה מאחורי הקלעים. והוא הולך. והוא חוזר.
So my colleagues are currently buying the item from my store so that we can actually see what it would look like.
אוקיי, אז בעצם היה כאן הוא הפעיל איזה פרסונליזציה, והוא רוצה להראות לנו איך נראית הפרסונליזציה מאחורי הקלעים, אחרי שמישהו קונה מוצר. So I guess you want to show us how it looks with the personalization, right?
Basically, yeah. So I'll show you guys a little bit as soon as I get this set up, because this is a new account. I need to enable one or two things for it. But yeah, I'll walk you guys through how we can do personalized orders. I'll show you guys a little bit about what I set up and how to use that personalized field in order to kind of start tackling this.
Okay.
Give me just 2 minutes.
אוקיי, אז אם למישהו יש רגע איזו שאלה, רוצה לשאול אותי שאני אתרגם או אותו, אז זה הזמן עד שהוא מארגן. הייתה כאן שאלה, there is a question about a branding package, to brand my package or something.
So at the moment, branding, as in like adding additional things into the package, is not really possible. This may be possible in the future, depending on how large volumes are, but every one of those kinds of situations would have to be negotiated with each print provider. Okay. And for print on demand, typically for the kind of volumes that we're talking about, it's not possible to add custom inserts or custom packaging for products.
אוקיי, אז בעצם הייתה שאלה כאן, האם אפשר למתג את האריזות לפחות, או את החבילות, אז התשובה כרגע לא. הם עובדים עם הרבה ספקים שונים, בשלב זה אי אפשר לעשות את המיתוג העצמי שלנו. אוקיי? עוד שאלות? עד שהוא ככה יצליח לעשות את הפרסונליזציה. אוקיי.
Cool.
So share your screen once again. We can't see your screen for now.
Yeah. Doing it. There we go. Okay. Cool. Can you guys can see my screen again, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so perfect. So here is my Etsy account. As you see, here are the two products that I showed you how we can publish them in straight from Printifiy. Here's a product that I created previously by myself, which actually, if you open up the image, you'll see it's some kind of an image that says your text here, right? And so this is a very common scenario. This is a lot of times what people are doing. They're basically showing, and customers would pick a color, and they would use that personalized field in order to give information for what they want, right? So I set this all up manually. Again, this part all doesn't make sense. The thing to note here is that this product was not created on Printifiy. I created it with kind of the help of Printifiy mockups, but it's a product I created first on Etsy. And so you'll notice that all of the SKU codes are not the same as they were in the automatically generated Printifiy ones. This is very crucial because these are not Printifiy SKUs. And so the way that this tool that I'm going to show you works is that any order that's not counted as a Printifiy order, you can still fulfill with Printifiy. And as soon as this order comes in, I'll demonstrate how. So how do I, let's see, can I preview this listing? So you'll see basically somebody would choose a color, they would choose a size, and then they would add personalization, max 25 characters saying, you know, I love Johnny. Johnny has two N's. I love Johnny. They would add to basket. They would send this item, and then I would get an order here. Let's see this test order that my colleagues placed. Here we go. Right. So ship. These are the ones right here. Right. So personalization. It's my T-shirt. I see that it's a small men's in bronze. Right? So now at this point, if I go back to Printifiy, and then if you, currently this is when most of the US is awake, and so this is not, it takes up to 5 minutes for these orders to appear into the account. So, but regular Printifiy orders would appear in here, and these are the ones that hopefully in a few minutes you'll see. Custom orders will appear here in this other beta tab.
Okay, I mean, you're getting the custom order, but
Printifiy Premium subscribe.
Manually, I should do here, I guess, or not.
Can you repeat that?
I mean, now when we'll see it on the other section, I should do something there? I mean, something manually?
Yeah, well, if as soon as these orders comes in, it takes from 5 to 10 minutes. I'll be able to demonstrate. Like I said, most of our business is in the US, 90% of it, and this is prime time for them right now. They're just getting going, just waking up, so all of the servers are a little bit slow.
Okay, so there is a question here about, are you going to provide better mockup or ability to download PNG without background?
Ability to download PNG without backgrounds. We are obviously exploring ways to provide better mockups in the future. We're looking at partnerships, some of the industry standards for our best sellers. Like I mentioned, the Bella Canvas. We actually just completed like a whole new photo shoot with different kinds of models, different sizes, different fidelity. And so the more we learn about which products customers are buying, the more we understand which products basically to invest in. So very soon in the next coming months, you will see new mockups, new higher quality mockups for the Bella Canvas shirt, for some of our other best sellers. There's also things that we're exploring, such as integrations that allow for custom backgrounds, more realistic effects, those kinds of things. You may have even seen that we've changed some of our mock-ups recently for some of our best-selling products to include lifestyle photos. This, as it comes, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So Adi just suggested for a few products, maybe you should add like wine glasses and bottle stickers and things like this. So Laura's already told him, great, thanks for the suggestion. But can you tell us how this process works here?
How to request products?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can. So as we mentioned, we've got thousands of monthly active users, people who are using our platform every day. Different merchants would have different successes. So every day we're getting requests from different merchants saying, hey, when are you going to have this available? When are you going to have that available? Realistically, we do what I guess everybody else does in the business. The more people who request something, the higher likelihood that this is going to be something that we add. So every time you guys send a request to us, it actually gets tallied internally. So every conversation with a support agent, every product request, as long as it's something, if it's something new, it goes into its own thing. If it's something that's been asked before, it goes straight to basically an internal spreadsheet where we keep track of how many people are asking for something.
Okay, so let me translate. זאת אומרת, אני אתרגם לנו לתרגום הכי קל. אם יש איזה מוצר שאנחנו כאן מהארץ חושבים שזה נחוץ מאוד, אפשר כאן להתאגד, אפילו לכתוב בקבוצה בעברית, בוא נבקש את המוצר הזה, כנראה שהם יראו ש10 או 20 איש מבקשים, הם יבינו שיש איזה ביקוש למוצר. אוקיי?
Yeah, and then the other thing that I wanted to say is that in addition to just kind of listening to our merchants, we're also doing our own market research every year and kind of keeping track of industry trends. So based off of what we actually see is being sold in and around and across the industry, we do projections for where the industry is headed for different kinds of niche products, different things. And I'm also not going to lie to you, the more successful a merchant is, the more weight their request has. So we treat our basically people who use our service regularly, who have constant and consistent orders, their request is always going to be more than somebody who just drops by, says, hey, I won't join unless you do this. So I trust that basically everybody here is a talented merchant, so your request will carry a lot more weight moving forward.
Okay, I just wrote to them, we'll meet you at the convention, then we'll catch you and ask you for whatever product we like to add.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Okay. Cool. So I'm just seeing, it's either my network issues or this thing, but so as not to waste time, I can probably just send a link to the video for how this works afterwards.
Yeah, so they're saying here, Ducky said that you are already working with the MWW that already has those products we just suggested. But maybe we can't see it on your site, you know?
So each print provider obviously has a lot more products than those that we have available. Every product that we do, we always offer samples and we vet internally to make sure that these products themselves are up to our own internal standard, and then we kind of get an understanding of how difficult it is to print. Each print provider tells us themselves which of their products are most successful, which ones move the least. As you understand, each product, to make the 3D renderings, to make the mock-ups, to make sure that we can generate all this so that you can sell, is a significant investment in time and resources. So we just, and price, yeah, and price, in order to actually be competitive based off of not just a single merchant, but what we know merchants can sell. So we're constantly working with our print providers to add more of their products at any time. That's why you'll see that for a lot of our print providers, when they just joined, they had a limited number of products and they've been slowly growing over time. We also do introduce new products for holiday seasons. So we had a lot of products that we released specifically for Christmas, for Valentine's Day, that maybe that do not sell. So basically this year you can expect we add typically from 5 to 20 new products per month.
Okay.
2 months, yeah. For 2 months, we're getting faster every day.
Okay. So let's continue.
Cool. So I'll keep an eye on this. I'll let you guys know as soon as the orders actually come into Printifiy, as soon as this network works. In the meantime, that's kind of generally it. So
you wanted to show me your background, the items there.
Show you.
No, you
Can
said
you repeat?
behind you, we can see all the products.
Yeah. So like I mentioned, Printifiy, before we choose to sell anything on our platform, we always order samples ourselves. So these were our Martin boots that we ordered. And all of these items go straight, first samples go to our Printifiy office. You'll see over here, we have like a big thing of like all of the different kinds of things that we're considering, metal mugs, different kinds of cell phone cases, shoes, as I mentioned, backpacks, all new kinds, things. If I turn around over here, you will see the wide array of products, whether they're 100% cotton, tri-blends, new kinds of hoodies. A lot of our print providers are constantly also updating their technology. So very recently, DJ that I recommended you guys to use if you're looking to build also became a lot more competitive because they introduced the industry revolutionary printing technology that allows them to offer higher quality printing actually at a fraction of the cost which they were doing previously. So we passed on those savings to our merchants immediately in order to allow people to be more competitive. But basically, because new technology is coming around every time, we're constantly ordering new samples to get an understanding of what is sublimation, what's all over print, what's digital printing. In the future, we're exploring things like 3D printing and different kinds of printing on metal, printing on jewelry. All of this actually comes here to this room. It's first inspected by our entire team to make sure that we understand.
Okay. That was a lot to translate. מאחורי ראינו יש כל כך הרבה מגוון גדול של מוצרים שהם מקבלים לכאן מהספקים שלהם, הם בודקים את המוצרים כאן, יש מכותנה, וראיתם יש נעליים וקייסים וכוסות ועוד ועוד ועוד. הטכנולוגיות גם משתפרות עם הזמן, אפשר לראות כאן שיש את שחלק מהפריטים זה, הם כרגע פשוט לא בטוח שהם יצאו לפועל, אבל הם בודקים אותם איך הם נראים כאן. There was one question about jewelry. What about, do you have any jewelry there? Like pendants?
Yeah, so we do. Do I have an actual example? I do. I might, yep.
Are you going to propose?
My colleague has an example. Yeah, so we have different kinds of, the typical ones, you have dog tags. We also have different bracelets. We have different necklaces. We partnered with...
What about the canvas? About the canvas, about, painting?
Yeah, so I'll show you guys some of those too. So just very quickly, as you can see over here, this is like a...
Okay, אז אנחנו רואים שיש כאן איזה סוג של...
Neck bracelets, different sizes. These are all, I think, from a company called Troop Jewelry. Okay. Yeah, so we recently partnered with a company called Troop Jewelry, and that's, as you can see, these kinds of bracelets. That's exactly what they specialize in, is printing on different kinds of jewelry, different kinds of ornaments. All of this we'll have with us actually at the conference. Okay. So you'll be able to come, you'll be able to touch them, feel them, look at them. Yeah.
Okay. אז הוא אומר שהוא הולך, גם התכשיטים יגיעו לכנס, אפשר להרגיש, יש שם לחוות לראות איך זה. What about the canvas or kappa or whatever I can print my painting, my prints?
Absolutely. So we have companies both in the US and the UK, so depending on which market you're targeting. So in the UK, we have a print provider called
בדיוק נקטע.
all different kinds of canvas, printing on the sides, printing on the front, framed canvases, posters. We have a company in the US called CG Pro. They also offer the same thing, different posters of different sizes, from small to very large, canvases, square canvases, big rectangles, 18 by 24.
Okay. So this is also, if you can give some, bring to Israel some, not the largest one, but at least to feel it, how it looks like. Just one. Or just 10. Okay.
One small canvas we will bring. But yeah, all of this you can actually see. So if you go to home and living section, and then under art and wall decor, you'll see that we have.
They're asking, I mean, everyone want to feel it. I mean, to see, to feel the item. And there is a question: can we photograph the samples at the convention?
You can photograph the samples at the convention. We will have a canvas for you. Anything else that you guys want us to bring, just tell me now.
כן, אם יש משהו מיוחד שהייתם רוצים שיגיע לכנס, איזה סמפל של איזה אחד מהדברים, תגידו, הם באים עם מזוודות מלאות, אבל בכל זאת, אם יש איזה משהו שתרצו בשבועיים הקרובים, אז זה הזמן להגיד, או במהלך השבועיים תגידו לי שהם יוכלו לארגן.
I don't make promises because we have limited baggage space, but it helps to know what the demand is.
Okay. So they ask if you can bring also samples with no graphics in order to take photos so I can do my own photography later. That's what I mean, on images by myself.
Of what? T-shirts?
Whatever. Some of them, if you can bring it blank, not just with prints.
I think that will be possible.
Okay. Okay. So, and you can bring a model as well. Okay.
Yeah.
So the order was. Can you see the order now? Because it's
at the moment, still no.
Okay.
We'll see. Etsy, as you imagine, is very popular.
Okay.
But a little bit. Just a little quickly, I'll also walk you through some last things before I get to last steps, and then I'll send a video afterwards to show you guys. Okay. So one thing to quickly pay attention to. So when you go, you're looking at my store again here, right? So when you go over here and you go to manage stores, you'll see for each store, there's an order processing setting, right? So currently mine says automatic for 24 hours. So if I click the settings and I go to my preferences, over here, you'll see that there's something called order approval settings. And so what this is basically it means that as soon as an order comes in, if I have it set to automatically in 1 hour, after 1 hour, this order will be sent to production, right? Once an order is sent to production, there is a very, very small window of only a few hours from which we can actually make any more changes to the order, right? Because at this point, like I mentioned, Printifiy doesn't do any of the printing ourselves. We send all of the information over to our print partners. And so at that point, if somebody all of a sudden contacts saying, hey, I want to change the size, or hey, I want a different color, or hey, I even put in the wrong address, there's a limited amount of time before we can make that change, before we actually then have to cancel that order and then wait. And so,
okay. And your suggestion is?
So suggestion is basically what a lot of our merchants do is they inform their customers that there is usually a small window in which they can make changes. Some of them say that, it's 24 hours. So they choose automatically in 24 hours. And then basically their customers have 24 hours to contact them to say that they need to make some changes, after which it is. It's really up to each merchant individually. But the whole point is that, and a lot of our merchants also do manual, right? And so what manual means is that the order will never be sent to production until you actually go to your orders page. Oh, here we go, the order appeared. And it'll be on hold until you hit fulfill, right?
Okay, so let me translate. אפשר לעשות כאן תהליך אוטומטי לגמרי ולקבוע שהאם אונליין, מרגע שיש מחירה אונליין, הם מדפיסים את זה, או האם לחכות שעה, או האם לחכות יום, ואז זה באופן אוטומטי, או לעשות את זה ידני, להגיע למסך הזה, ואז ללחוץ על fulfill, ובעצם לבצע את ההזמנה. אוקיי?
Right, so this order currently, if my settings are set to manual, this order will never be sent to production until I actually press this button. And until I press this button, I can actually open it up, and I can still make edits to it, right? So if I hit edit, I hit continue, and I can actually be like, oh, he actually meant 1700 Tillery Street. I can hit continue. Phone number is required. I hit continue, and then I hit send to production. And then it'll actually send. Or I'll just save it for later, and then I'll go back, right? If, on the other hand, my store is set to any of these other settings, it's set to automatically in 24 hours, automatically at a certain time every single day, or automatically in 1 hour, this will do exactly what you think it does, right? So automatically at a certain time every day. The reason that we actually have this is for people who don't want a lot of charges on their credit card. And so these charges group together at one time in one big charge at 12 p.m. every single day. And this is according to your time zone settings. And so this you can click, and all of this is customizable in your My Account settings over here, right? If it's in 1 hour, the order comes in. 1 hour later, it's sent to production. Now, realistically, I mentioned that there's a small window to make changes. One of the things that we do is that when an order is placed for the very first time, it actually first goes through Printifiy quality check. And what Printifiy quality check is it's our own internal thing for actually making sure, is this actually a copyrighted work? Because we don't want you to be sued, we don't want us to be sued, and our print partners don't want anybody to be sued, right? So we actually first check through a database to make sure that this isn't a copyrighted work. Then we actually look at the quality of the artwork, right? So some merchants, they do things very quickly, and then they'll accidentally place an image a little bit too high up, and they'll cut off a part of the image. So we'll get back to the merchant and we'll say, hey, it seems that your image is cropped. Do you want to readjust it, right? So the merchant only gets this kind of quality check luxury for the very first time a new image is purchased. After that, it'll happen automatically every single time. So for every first purchase of every first item, there's also this additional quality check, which is meant to protect you, to make sure that we can tell you, hey, it seems that this image doesn't have enough resolution, it's not going to come out well. Or, hey, this image is cropped, or, hey, we think that this is copyrighted. Are you the actual owner of this image? So all of that kind of happens through the order settings, but how soon it actually gets sent is all over here. And so in the beginning, when you're just setting up and maybe you're doing some test orders and maybe you want to make sure that you get everything right, we always recommend that you start off with manual, right? This leaves everything kind of in your control, and then you kind of save it. And then basically only when you hit fulfill will it actually get sent, right? So now that this worked, let's see, perfect. Cool. So like I mentioned.
אז ההמלצה הייתה בעצם לעשות ידנית, לפחות בתחילת הדרך, לראות שכל התהליך עובד ידני. בוא נראה רגע איך עובד את ההזמנה של הפרסונליזיישן הזאת, ובקרוב אנחנו מסיימים, בסדר? אוקיי. Yeah, please.
Cool. So like I mentioned, over here, if you actually look at this item that was purchased, this t-shirt 2, 8016, this is one of the products that we created here, t-shirt 2, and actually if you open this up and you look at the variant, you'll see that it's there. So this was a Printifiy product, which is why it appeared in the Printifiy tab. So if you are a subscriber for the Printifiy Premium account, you'll also have this other tab over here, which is a new feature we released specifically for those customized orders, right? And now I'll walk you through how that actually works and what the difference is. So as I mentioned before, anybody who makes a new purchase for a non-Printifiy product, you'll see it's got a different SKU number, and so it actually appears in this other tab. And so what this allows you to do is, so I see that, okay, so this is a custom text yak t-shirt, and I actually get to choose, it's currently not imported, right? So I would open it up, I would see what it is, and then when I hit select product, it actually allows me to search for what it is. So I will search, for instance, for a Bella Canvas 3001. There we go, by DJ. And I'll see over here, if I titled my SKU codes correctly, that it's for a bronze t-shirt, right? And then it actually shows over here, the personalization, it's my t-shirt. So this actually appears over here. So I will find bronze if I find it, but without it, it doesn't matter. I'll just choose gold, size small, and then I'll hit next, right? So I basically choose the product that this is going to be, and then it opens up to the mockup generator, which what it actually does is it allows me to upload a new design specific to that image, right? And then I would make this in Photoshop or wherever where I would put that personalization. It's my t-shirt. I'm not going to do the personalization process. I'm sure all of you are familiar.
בעצם ראינו כאן תהליך של פרסונליזציה. הוא אומר, עכשיו היה צריך להיות כתוב It's my t-shirt, תעשו בפוטושופ את ה-It's my t-shirt הזה ידנית, תעלו במיוחד לפריט הזה, והם ייצרו את זה. אוקיי.
Right, but I would upload this artwork, I would choose next, and then so here's what you actually see, right? So at this point, this item is now ready for import, and one of the things that we do for you, all of the custom information, where it's going, and so all you actually need to do is select the product and upload the artwork. And it's actually even much simpler than that because you only have to do this for each SKU one time. So at this point, once I hit import order, I've already told the Printifiy system what this order is, right? And then once I did that, it actually moves over here to the Printifiy tab because now it's a Printifiy order that's getting fulfilled. And then next time an order comes in for that exact same SKU number, over here, instead of saying not imported, it'll actually say ready for art. Just press ready for art and you don't have to choose the product again. It automatically chooses the product and you just upload the artwork. So this really allows you to streamline this process of submitting personalized orders because all you have to do is so all of these are for different SKU numbers, right? And I would have to set this up. I would set this up every time, and then every second order that I get for that same SKU would appear ready for art, and I wouldn't have to choose that product again. Additionally, every product that's imported actually appears in your My Store section with the order number and the customer name. This allows you, it's not published in your store, but if there's an issue with the order, if something gets misprinted, maybe the customer doesn't like it or they want something else, it allows you to very quickly find it, double check, oh, did I make a mistake? Was there something wrong with the design? Without having to look through and figure out which was the customer. So in our internal test, this actually speeds up the process of creating personalized orders 10 times, which if you're submitting hundreds and hundreds of orders per day, that amounts to a whole lot of extra revenue that merchants are able to capture because a lot of that process is now automated and pulled directly.
Okay. Can I ask you for, let's see. So, you wanted to you told me that you have maybe some specific tips for Etsy users.
Yeah. So that's it's a good point. So here, some of the things that I mentioned, right? So at this point, let's say that I wanted to edit this product. So this same product, maybe I went in on Etsy and I made a whole lot of changes, right? So if I find it, this is one of the things that we released recently. So like, as I mentioned, Etsy only allows you to have 10 images, right? And so what a lot of merchants do, put all of their own mock-up images. Maybe they'll change them, maybe they'll add text, maybe they'll do this. And additionally, they might go through and they might make changes directly in Etsy to the description. Basically, it's up to you. Any changes that you make on Etsy, you won't actually see on Printifiy, right? So the publishing only works one way. So publishing goes from Printifiy to Etsy. If you make any changes in Etsy, Printifiy doesn't collect that information and it doesn't reflect that. But in order to... Yeah, go ahead.
הוא אומר שעד עכשיו, עד רגע זה בעצם, שאם נעשה שינוי בתוך אצי, אז זה ישתנה באצי, אבל זה לא ישתנה בתוך פרינטיפיי. זאת אומרת, בדף הקובץ, דף הפריט בפרינטיפיי לא ישתנה. אוקיי?
Right. But in order to make merchants' lives easier and to kind of avoid those things, there are things that we recently released that are specifically meant to make your lives kind of, to avoid those kinds of problems, right? So actually, if you go through, after you first publish your product, you'll probably remember that there were really only these two options and the shipping profiles. Once the product is already published, the next time you'll see all of these additional settings, right? And so these are product details to sync with your Etsy store. And basically what this means is that if I went and I uploaded all of my own pictures, I don't any of that when I update the product. So maybe I went in and I needed to move the image a little bit to the left or maybe make it a little bit bigger, but I don't want to change my, right? So what I would do is I would just uncheck mockups, right? And maybe I did the same thing and I don't want to change my description either, right? I only want to update the product title and maybe I added a few new colors and sizes, right? So unchecking this means that now if I go through, and you can probably see it, so I'm syncing product title but not description, and we'll go over here and say I changed this description, and I also I have a space bar. I also changed the title, right? So now if I choose to publish this product, I changed both of these things, but I only want to sync the product title and the colors and sizes, right? So I would hit Save Changes and Publish. Once this is done, if we open up this listing actually in Etsy, you'll see that the description did not change at all. And the only thing that changed was the title. As you can see, Printifiy users are very active right now. So this is going to take, I'm number 2 in the queue though. That's good.
Okay.
So it should be done, right? So let's go and see.
הוא בעצם שינה דברים בפרינטיפיי, הוריד שם את ה-V מהתיאור המוצר והשאיר רק את הכותרת, ואנחנו רואים כתוב, הנה, הכותרת השתנתה. אוקיי? זאת אומרת, הוא שינה בפרינטיפיי, וזה אכן השתנה גם באצי. אוקיי?
Right. Cool. Right. So as you can see over here, it says I also changed the title, right? The title did change, but the description, as you can see, remains untouched, right? Okay. Even though the description is different on Printifiy.
Okay. טוב, הוא קצת נקטע לנו.
It did not change.
ראינו שהתיאור המוצר לא השתנה, אלא רק הכותרת. Radislav, can you tell us, I mean, we want to end the webinar soon, so one question, just tell us about the Premium.
Yep, absolutely. Cool. So, like I mentioned, Printifiy Premium is, as you can see, it's 20% discount on all of our products.
טוב. שומעים אותי?
Or Alice at Printifiy. Sorry, what are you telling me? You're posting it in the chat. Loudest has posted it in the chat. Basically, you're going to get 2 months Printifiy Premium free, right? So once again, if you already have a Printifiy account, you have to just email Loudest. He'll give you the details in the chat right now, and we'll give you 2 months of Printifiy Premium so that you can give it a shot, get that 20% discount, try out this personalized order. And also, if you don't have an account yet, if you sign up through the link that Liran will give you, every one of you guys will also get 2 months free. So with that, I look forward to seeing everybody at the conference. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited to escape the winter and get some of your warm weather.
Okay.
Yeah.
אז בעצם אנחנו מסיימים כאן עוד שנייה. יש כאן, שלחתי לכם שוב, ברגע שהמייל האחרון ששלחתי לכולכם, כל מי שרצה להתחבר, אז היה אפשר לקבל, יש שם לינק לקבל את ההטבה הזאת. חוץ מזה, יש לכם בעיה, לא קיבלתם, כן קיבלתם, אז אפשר לראות עכשיו לרגע אחד בצ'אט את הכתובת שלהם. הם שניהם כרגע נמצאים גם בקבוצה שלנו, אם יש לכם עוד שאלות ואתם רוצים לכתוב לפרינטיפיי בתוך הקבוצה, אז הכנסתי אותם גם לקבוצה. Rastislav, I just told everyone that you and Lauras are at my Facebook group, so they can write there in English to you. I guess not today, but tomorrow. It's already late. And I would like to thank you on behalf of the Israeli nation, and especially our group. It was a great webinar. And hope to see you soon in 2 weeks. אז תודה רבה לכולכם, תודה שהצטרפתם. מוזמנים להגיד להם גם תודה רבה. ניפגש, זאת אומרת, הם כולכם מוזמנים לכנס ב-13/3, הם גם יגיעו עם כל המוצרים שלהם, עם הרצאה טובה, גם המנכ"ל שלהם צפוי להגיע ולפגוש אותנו, אז יהיה שם חגיגה גם. תודה רבה לכולם. Thank you very much. Have a good night. Bye bye. Bye all.
Thank you, guys. See everybody soon. Have a good one.
Bye bye.
Bye.